I welcome you, sir, on behalf of NCS Karwar. I am also privileged to welcome our HM ma'am, Dr. Anjali Singh, our teachers, and my friends. Now, I would like to invite Surgeon Commander Swain, Medical Officer Kadamba, to oblige us with a few words of awareness about the current ongoing pandemic, COVID, and now which is a growing disease, dengue. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. You can go ahead. Thank you. Excuse me, sir. Please enable your mic.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, I'll start again.
Yes.
Good morning, dear students. Uh,
Good
I
morning,
am
sir.
Good morning. I am Dr. Santosh Swain, and I've done my MBBS and then did my post-graduation MD in community medicine. So basically, this subject, community medicine, deals with preventive aspects. If there are some diseases prevailing in the community, my job is to make people aware so that they don't suffer from this disease. So as of now, in our setup, there are two diseases which are prevailing. One is COVID-19, another is dengue fever. So first starting with the COVID thing, which is very common, all of you know that. So I will be covering under the following heads. One is origin, about the origin, what is the present scenario now. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes.
Can you see the
Yes,
my
sir.
presentation?
Yes,
The
sir.
origin of COVID-19.
Ma'am, I can't hear anything.
Ma'am, I won't. Ma'am,
Yes.
Sorry for the technical faults. Am I audible now?
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Sir,
Okay. So the origin has been I have divided into four hypotheses which is there. One, it has started in the Wuhan animal market. Second, it is said that it is started from the bats. And third theory, it is said that while doing some experiment in the lab, something called Wuhan Institute of Virology, this virus was found. And this virus, there was a theory that there is hypothesis that this virus leakage was there from this Institute of Virology, and from there it went to the other parts of China. Another theory which we think that it might be a bioterrorism. Bioterrorism means basically some viruses which have been manufactured for affecting other countries. So that is also one of the hypotheses. Coming to the origin of this COVID-19, as we all know, it started in 2019 December, and then it started in Jan, and in the March it was considered as a pandemic. And thereafter, we know there was lockdowns and there were so many deaths which happened. And finally, in the end of December, we had new hope that vaccine came, and from there on, the life has become slightly comfortable, but still cases are increasing. So before we go to the COVID-19 proper, we should know what are the type of diseases that we have in the world. One is called endemic, another is called epidemic, and third is the pandemic. As you can see from the slide, that if a disease is said to be endemic when it is present only in that region or in that country, and only that particular place or particular persons staying there are getting infected. And if a disease is said as epidemic when it affects many people at a time in one particular place or in one particular region. And it is said to be pandemic when affects more than two continents. So as you can see in the figure, there are more than two continents which are involved. So those are called as a these diseases are called as pandemic. So I'll show you some of the examples also. So coming to the definition of a pandemic, what World Health Organization says, it's an epidemic occurring worldwide over a wide area, crossing the international boundaries and usually affecting a large number of people. So when this happens, then it is called as a pandemic. So these are some of the examples of pandemics. As you can see, bubonic plague, which is also called as Black Death. It was in the year 1347 to 1351. Well, that's where almost 200 million, that is 20 crores people died in that pandemic. There's another pandemic example is in the year 1520, the smallpox outbreak, and which caused almost 56 million deaths. And the nearest pandemic which is similar to this COVID-19 is the Spanish flu, which happened almost a century back, and the death was almost 40 to 50 million. Another pandemic example is HIV and AIDS. So coming to the stages of a pandemic, how does this pandemic starts? Pandemic always starts, for example, there are 4 stages we say, stage 1, 2, 3 and 4. So first the cases starts in a particular area or a particular country. And from there onwards, it starts going to all other the places. There will be local transmission. Like for example, the COVID started in Wuhan and then it affected the whole of China. And then slowly it started.
Sir, you are not audible.
Sir, you are not audible.
हमारे
Sir, you are not audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I was taking about stage 4. Can you see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So coming to stage 4. So stage 4, what happens? This disease becomes endemic. Basically, everyone gets affected, and finally the transmission reduces. So that is called herd immunity. So automatically, all the persons in the world will get affected with this disease one time or the other, and a herd immunity will develop. It is said that around
Sir,
70 to 80.
disease
Hello,
will eradicate humanity.
hello. Who is this?
Yes, sir. The student was asking whether this will eradicate the entire human species.
No, no, that's not possible. That will not never happen because, as I told you in my last
No, ma'am. I was just telling ma'am that when the whole world will be affected, it will eradicate all the humans.
Okay, sir. You can carry on, sir. Excuse me, sir. You are not
Sir,
audible.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, coming to the present scenario, as you can see, there are almost 2.23 crores cases which has happened in globally, and almost 48 lakh deaths have happened as of now, 4th of October. And 215 countries have been involved, and 6.2 billion doses of COVID vaccine has been given till date in the world. So WHO is divided into 6 regions, as you can see: America, Europe, Southeast Asia, Africa, and others. So the maximum which was affected was America and Europe, followed by Southeast Asia, where India lies. These are the peaks you can see in the month of December, in the month of March, and in the month of August, September. This is I'm talking of the whole world, globally. So the present scenario, if you come, you can see this is it can be compared to the Spanish flu, which I told, which happened in a century back in 1918-19. It is almost like Spanish flu. The Spanish flu took almost 2 to 3 years to die down. So we hope that this COVID-19 also will die down in next 1 to 2 years. So there are many variant of concern and variant of interest that you must have heard of, especially the Delta variant you must have heard of, because of which the second wave India happened. So these are some of the variants which has happened. Now coming to the present scenario in India, as you can see, there are so many cases which has happened in India. Almost 4.4 lakh deaths have happened, and more than 3 crore people have been discharged. And as of now, the active cases in India is almost 2.5 lakh, which is already there in our country. These are the 2 peaks that has happened in our country. One in the month of September in 2020, and another in the month of June, May and June. And as of the active cases, if you see, the maximum cases which happened was in the month of May. Almost 37 lakh active cases were there in our country. And at present, on 5th of October, we have only 2.5 lakh cases. But still, the cases are there. Coming to the states which are having more of the cases are these 5-6 states you can see. Maximum cases are from Kerala, which are still contributing almost more than 50%. And other states being Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Mizoram, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka. So what we are doing well as a country is we have vaccinated almost 92 crore people who are above 18 years of age, and almost 70% of population have got their first dose of vaccine. So this is a good news that for our country. Coming to the Karwar naval base, if you see, we all are staying in Karwar as of now. So you can see the maximum cases happened in the month of August, September, and then now in the month of May. And recently in the month of September, we had few cases, because of which classes were closed also. Schools were closed. Coming to COVID virus, so virus, it looks like an envelope. You can see it looks like a corona. So it looks like a crown. That's why it's known as a coronavirus. And it affects the respiratory system of our body. So how does it? So how does it affect the characteristics of COVID-19? Basically, it gets the virus gets from one person to another. It goes either by nose or by mouth. So when you talk, then the virus may spread through your mouth, or when you exhale, then also this can spread. And that's why we all have been told to wear the mask. And second thing, it can spread by touching surfaces which contains the virus. And the disease basically affects the lungs, which is because of the cytokine storm which happens. There are some chemicals called cytokines in our body which causes this reaction, and this disease is causing lots of such a problem in our lungs and other parts of our body. So what are the symptoms of COVID-19? Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So there are some symptoms of COVID-19, as we all are aware. The common being the fever, cough, the shortness of breath. Then you
Sir, you are not audible.
Hello, am I audible now? Hello.
Yes.
I'm extremely sorry, but I don't know some issues are there. Coming to I just go fast now. So that it will take time. So there are some tests that we do in order to know how good is being detected. And we test and antigen tests. And also we do the CT scan by which we can detect the COVID-19. And you must know what is the contact. So a person is to the contact when he is giving direct care to a COVID-19 patient. Or if he is in touch
Sir, you are not audible.
okay.
Yes, sir. Now you are.
Am I audible now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what I was saying is what is a contact. So it's very important to know what is a contact because based on this we take so many actions. So a person is said to be a contact when he gives direct care to a person who is COVID positive in his home. And if a person is having face-to-face contact with a confirmed patient within 1 meter for at least 15 minutes, then also we say a contact. So that's why when in a class someone found to be positive, what we do is when someone is found to be positive, we tell the whole class to be suspended for at least next 7 days. So in that way, what happens is we can stop the spread of the infection among others. So as per the treatment goes, that the disease has been classified into mild disease, moderate disease, and severe disease. And this is based on the oxygen level in the blood. So based on the oxygen level in the blood, we divide into this three type of disease: mild, moderate, and severe. So how can I prevent the COVID-19? So as you can see, this diagram says it very clear. We must maintain some social distancing. We must wear a face mask covering our nose and the mouth. That's very important. And avoid all the crowded places which are there. Wash your hands regularly. And for children now, COVID vaccine has not been started, but soon after 12 years, means between 12 to 18 years of age, the vaccine will be started in a month time or so. But for all others above 18 years, all must take that vaccine. If in your house someone is there above 18 not taken the vaccine, you must tell them to take the vaccine. The vaccine gives a lot of protection. Ventilate your houses properly. Whenever you cough or sneeze, always use your elbow or some handkerchief where you can sneeze. Otherwise, you can spread the infection if you have. And avoid the three C's, that is crowded places, close contact settings, and confined and enclosed spaces. So you can see the maximum disease which happens is because of the hand, because a lot of microorganisms are there in our hand. So we must avoid shaking hands, especially in this present scenario. The washing hands helps in most of the things. It helps in your keeping your hygiene proper. The other diseases like food poisoning and the healthcare associated infections can also be avoided because of the proper hand washing. These are the ways how you should wash your hands. And while using sanitizer, at least 20 to 40 seconds, you must use the sanitizer so that it can kill the virus if it is there in the hands. Never touch your nose, eyes, and mouth, and always throw the used tissues or the used mask which you are using in the dustbin. As I told you earlier, cover your cough with the help of mustache, with the help of handkerchief or in the bend elbow. Even when you use the lift, you must use some keys or anything or the elbow. So the action which was taken to prevent it, like the World Health Organization declared it as a pandemic in 11th March 2020, and since then the whole world is acting upon. So there are some break the chain. Basically, the agent is there, the host that is, and the person is said to be the host. Human beings are the host. The agent is the infectious agent, that is the virus, and the environment which is responsible for any disease to happen. So what we need to do is break the chain of transmission from the virus getting into the our body. So that's why we had a lockdown. So the lockdown helps in this manner. The basically who is infected, he may be isolated, and so that others get saved from the disease. That's why this lockdown was being done since March last year. Even as we all are in Navy, so Navy had also taken adequate steps to control the spread of the infection. Like there is a octet that we followed in Indian Navy. One is hand hygiene, respiratory etiquette, the social distancing part, and especially when you travel outside, you must follow all the COVID protocol behavior. The disinfection of the frequently touched surface should be done. You must be mentally and physically fit, and awareness was spread among all others. And self-reporting is very important. Anyone having symptoms should report to the hospital immediately. You must understand the difference between two things. One is isolation and quarantine. Isolation is basically the separation of the COVID positive patients, and quarantine is done for those people who are not COVID positive, but they are primary contact of the COVID positive patient. They are said to be in quarantine. So you must understand the basic difference of isolation and quarantine. So this stringent quarantine policy was there in our setup, that is in Navy, due to which the cases here was very less compared to outside world. And we did the screening of all people who are coming from outside, whether by train they are coming or by air, anyway they are coming. We used to screen all the people who come to the naval base Karwar, so that we all are saved from the infection. And everyone did some efforts so that we are saved from this infection. In addition, the Navy also helped the civilians to protect them from the COVID infection. Here also we did in last year when the cases were very high, we developed the COVID care center as well, which is there in that gymnasium which is there in nearby swimming pool. There a COVID care center was also set up so that extra patients who could not be accommodated in the hospital if the cases are more, we had set this COVID care center. The training was done for everyone. Food was also given at the doorstep. So it's very important that whenever you feel sick, you must inform the doctor or inform the hospital by telling your teachers or the parents. And if you are positive, either you will be home isolated. If you are having less symptoms, you will be isolated at home. If you are having more symptoms, you will be admitted in the hospital. But most important is you must tell your symptoms whenever you have, either to your class teacher or to your parents or to the doctor, and visit the hospital immediately. Even we visited house to house and we checked everyone, so to find out whether anyone is having COVID or not. We even tested them at the home when the cases were very high this year in the month of May and June. So we did so much of COVID vaccination. Almost 19,000 doses of vaccine has been given in Karwar, so that we all are safe. Since as you all are less than 18 years of age, you have not been vaccinated. So it's very important that whoever is lying, whoever is there around you, they must be vaccinated. So you must see all your parents and teachers, everyone who is there around you have been vaccinated, so that you don't suffer from COVID-19. The way forward is basically we must avoid travel because traveling is one of the main cause of the spread of the infection. So even here also in Karwar, whatever cases we have seen, the people who are coming in train, post leave, they are being found with COVID positive. So it's very important. Don't go outside without any reason. If you have only strong reason, then only you must move outside. We need to avoid the crowding indoors and outdoors as well. And there was an antibody test which was being done by the ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and we found that our people have already developed, almost 70% people have already developed antibodies. So that's a good thing. This shows that we are developing herd immunity, and slowly the cases might decrease in further course of time. There was a study which was done by the armed forces only, and we found that almost this vaccine helps in reducing the infection by 93% and reduces the death by 98%. And this has been proved by other studies as well. So the way forward is again to the same thing. We have to do test, track, treat, vaccinate, and COVID appropriate behavior. So testing we are doing. Whoever is getting symptoms, we are testing them at the MI room Kadamba as well as in NHS Patanjali. And whoever found to be positive, we see all the contacts who are there with them and we tell them to quarantine themselves. That's very important. Otherwise, the infection will spread among others. So whoever is positive in the house, naturally the whole family members should stay inside the house only. They should not move outside. Otherwise, they will spread the infection among others. And treatment part is done at the hospital level. So whenever you feel the symptoms are more, we generally consult. You can consult the doctor, and we give you the treatment as per the protocol. Vaccination already I've told you. It's important to save ourselves. And for children, it will come in a month or two. I think the vaccination of the children will also start, especially between 12 to 18 years of age. And very important is to follow the COVID appropriate behavior. That's very, very important. You must wear mask. You must wash hands regularly. Maintain social distancing to the extent possible. And whenever you have symptoms, you must immediately tell your teacher or the parents so that you are immediately tested. And if found positive, you must be treated immediately. In this COVID scenario, you must manage your COVID stress as well. Like you must exercise regularly. You must develop your hobby and you must inculcate that hobby and do something good in that. You must read some books or you may learn some other instruments so that you keep yourself busy. You can have a chat with your friends as well. And most important, limit your uh, time in this basically the mobile time that you have to reduce. You must not spend more than, except your online classes or a 1 hour or so. You should not spend more hours on your television or your mobile. So these are the final promises that we should make in order to keep ourselves COVID free. Greet always without physical contact. Maintain physical distance. Always wear the mask properly, covering your nose and the mouth. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Maintain your respiratory hygiene. As I told you, whenever you sneeze, you must sneeze in your handkerchief or in your bent elbow. You must wash your hands frequently. Regularly disinfect the surfaces which you touch regularly. Do not spit in the open. Avoid unnecessary travel. Do not discriminate against anyone. Like he is COVID positive, we should not talk to them. Don't discriminate people like that. Always discourage the crowd. That's why we are having these online classes instead of offline. So crowd is we have to discourage. We should not go and mingle with others whenever there is a crowd. Because the chances of transmission in the crowd is very, very high. Do not circulate anything wrong things in the social media which are not correct or verified. Always seek information from the credible sources or from the doctor about any disease that you want to know. You can call the helplines also and always ask for support if you are mentally not feeling well, you are having stress or anxiety. Take support of your parent, teacher, or the doctor nearby. So another aspect which I wanted to cover I'll just take 2 more minutes. Basically about dengue. This dengue is also a very, very dangerous disease. If not treated early, it may cause death also. So this is caused by this mosquito known as Aedes mosquito. And you can see it has got black and white stripes, which is also known as a tiger mosquito. The problem with dengue fever is it has no treatment, it has no vaccine. So prevention is the only key to prevent ourselves from dengue fever. It looks like this. So that's why it's called as tiger mosquito, because of the black and white stripes it has in its body and the legs. These are the typically these mosquitoes breed in the water, and the top 5 breeding habitats at home are as shown in this figure. You can see the flower beds are very common place where the mosquito breeding can be seen. These are the common places you can see: the tires, the flower beds. These are common places where mosquito breeding happens. So you must know what are the symptoms of dengue fever. So dengue fever has got the symptoms like severe headache is there, your pain will be there in the eyes, you have severe muscular and joint pains, you will have the feeling of nausea or vomiting, and you will have also the skin rashes. So these are some of the symptoms of dengue. So if you have such symptoms, immediately you must come to the hospital, because this may cause complications. If you don't treat immediately within 3 to 5 days, this may lead to so many complications. Because in dengue, what happens? There is an internal bleeding. Internal bleeding, the bleeding happens from the blood vessels. So due to which your blood pressure decreases, and finally the organs failure happens. So death happens because of the multi-organ failure. So you should not wait for 3 4 days that your fever is there and still you are not going to hospital. It should not happen like that. Whenever you have fever or any symptoms that I discussed now, you must immediately visit the hospital. So these are the ways by which you can prevent yourself from dengue. What you have to do is whatever water is there, especially inside your house and 100 meter around your house, if you find any place where water can get collected, you must remove that. That is the way how you can stop the breeding of the mosquitoes. And it's very important that you must cover yourself. Your body parts should not be exposed. And if it is exposed, then you must use mosquito repellent like Odomos. You must apply. And this Aedes mosquito bites you in the daytime also. So Odomos you must apply in the daytime also. And preferably you must sleep under the mosquito nets. And your doors and windows should have screen and should be remain closed, so that mosquito doesn't bite you. So these are some of the personal protection that you can take in order to save yourself from mosquito bite. So dengue can be fatal. It can anyone can be affected. So we must do whatever I have told you. There are simple steps which will help you from preventing yourself from mosquito bite and dengue fever. At the end, I'll tell you that we must also be healthy. So always follow this ABCD. That's very important. Basically, avoid all bad things like alcohol, smoking. That should be avoided at all times in your life. Never ever touch these bad things in your life. And always be physically active. At least spend 1 hour of your day doing some exercise or playing. Cut down salt and sugar. Fast food, junk food that you eat, you must avoid that. You should not eat more than once in a week. You must avoid them. The frequency has to be reduced. I know you can't stop eating junk food, but you must at least reduce the frequency. It should not be more than once a week. And eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. That's very important. At least 400 grams of fruits and vegetables every day is a must, so that you get sufficient micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. You must get antioxidants as well, and so that it prevents you from cancer as well. And it also provides fiber, which helps in proper respiration. So this ABCD you must follow throughout your life. Otherwise, you may land into other problems. Okay, thank you. If you have any doubts, please you can ask.
Dear children, if you have any doubts, you can ask.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes, please ask Amogveer.
Sir, in this difficult times also, how do you guys manage to work?
Yeah, it's a difficult time, no doubts. Especially last year was very, very difficult when cases were very large, cases were very high, and especially in naval setup where we are here, like inside the ships and all. It's very difficult to manage the cases. But one thing that I can tell you, the COVID appropriate behavior has helped me a lot. I have seen more than 2,000 COVID patients in last 1.5 years, but still I managed to protect myself just following the COVID appropriate behavior. I've never left my mask anywhere. I've always used the mask throughout the time whenever I was in the workplace. So I used to use the N95 mask. The N95 mask is much better mask. So I have always used this N95 mask, which has helped me to protect myself from the COVID-19. Similarly, every doctor who was working and managing the COVID patient, they have followed all the COVID appropriate behavior, and they have wore the this N95 mask and the PPE kits which are there. So in this way, we have tried to avoid ourselves. Yeah, it was a difficult time. Many of the doctors also lost their lives because of COVID. But still, that's our duty. We have to do our duty in spite of all odds.
Salute to you all, sir. You sacrifice your lives for protecting us.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amogveer. Thank you, sir. I call upon Samiha to give the vote of thanks.
Ma'am, am I visible?
Yes, you are.
Good morning to one and all. Respected Surgeon Commander Swain, sir, Principal Medical Officer INS Kadamba, HMM, teachers, and all students. COVID-19 and dengue are all on news, but we don't know much about them. Surgeon Commander Swain, sir, has given us a very clear and concise knowledge about both these dangerous and contagious diseases. I, on behalf of NCS Karwar, would like to express my gratitude and special thanks to Surgeon Commander Swain, sir, for such a wonderful and informative session on COVID-19 and dengue. I would also like to thank HMM for giving us an opportunity to attend such a wonderful session, which has surely enhanced our knowledge. Last but not the least, thanks to all participants, teachers, and my fellow mates for making this event successful. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. And I just like to thank ma'am and all students also for hearing me out. And do take care of yourself. That's very important. This is difficult times for everyone. Do follow the COVID appropriate behavior and take care of yourself. And do follow this ABCD which I told you. Always it will help you to keep you healthy. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, sir, I am Dishtanta from class 7. Sir, I have a doubt that, sir, in both the situations in COVID-19 and dengue, the fever comes. So, how can we detect that is dengue or COVID-19?
That's why we have got diagnostic kits with us. So it is there in Patanjali Hospital as well in MIRUM Kadamba. We have got diagnostic kits. So whoever comes with fever and another thing, we subject them to both the tests, COVID as well as of the dengue also. So we come to know whether cases are there of the COVID or of dengue. So you don't bother about that. You must first of all you must come to the hospital. So once you come to hospital, we have got the diagnostic kits with the help of which we can detect whether you have COVID or whether you have dengue.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
All of you can leave this session and please join your respective classes. Thank you and have a nice day. Yes, Amogveer, Pihu, Swayam, Harneet, Aviral, and Sanyogita, please leave this session and join your respective classes.